Okay, guys, welcome to another episode. My name is Zeta Lasfa. Thanks for joining me on the show. So, the topic of this show is going to be called, signs of low self esteem, indicators of low self esteem, so that you can run the F away. Uh, Starting off with this show, I thought I had before I was starting was that this, I actually wrote this blog piece a couple of years ago, and at the time I was still heavily reading and researching psychology. Um, I think psychology gives us a fraction of the truth and not all the truth, but it can lead you towards it. It can lead you to the ultimate truth in a way. And under the guise of psychology, we tend to look at uh, we tend to look at self-destructing behaviors as under the umbrella of someone who has low self-esteem. I would think about this a lot. At the time, I remember I was doing street fundraising, so I would talk to people on the street and try to fundraise for charity. And I was starting to come out of my shell a bit more and understand that the good majority of people had low self esteem. If I talk to someone on the street, and I'm sure it's the same for people that did like the pickup artist stuff, trying to pick up women, do the cold approaching. If you try to talk to someone on the street and they instantly reject you, it's not because they reject you, it's just because they reject themselves, because they have a such a negative image of themselves, that and a high pride. They have a high ego and pride that it's very painful for them to be put in a situation where their pride and their image is attacked. So, they almost attack you first in order to protect themselves. So, you could just walk on the you could just be on the street, be nice to someone, and they could instantly reject you or be rude to you just because they're in a deep fear of a painful situation or an awkward situation that could attack their pride or image of themselves. So, I used to get this a lot being street fundraiser, just being like happy go lucky street fundraiser, and the same with being, and I used to I tried following the street cold approach pickup back in my early 20s, which did not work at all. Hey, when I was very young at the time, I used to think it was me. I think it was like something I was doing wrong. But as I got older, I began to realize that, look, I'm just being nice. Like, I'm just being a nice person, even to a stranger. So I don't think it's me that's getting rejected. It's people rejecting themselves. And then I had like a very angry outlook on the world, that I lived in a world where the majority of the population just had such uh, negative image of themselves, and would throw you under the bus in order to protect themselves. Like, they would literally attack you so they're not attacked, so their own thoughts don't attack them. And I began to realize that these people, the majority of people I'm talking about, are just people with low self-esteem, and I need to design a list to stay away from them, because they're untrustworthy, and they will attack you first before in order to save themselves. So um, I made this list about 2 years ago, but before I go into the list, I just want to explain that this is not the whole truth. In fact, like, low self-esteem isn't actually low self-esteem. What low self esteem really is people who are affected by low self esteem is really people who are affected by the devil. Now, for those that don't go into religion or aren't into religion, that's fine. Stick to the psychology. Stick to the psychology of someone has low self esteem. They have negative self talk. But I don't believe that. I believe there's no such thing as negative self-talk. It's a negative self-talk and the self part is excluded. It's negative talk from another entity that is not you and that is looking to destroy you. And the way they do that by destroying you is also through a covert method of increasing your pride, increasing the image of yourself as well. So they increase the arrogance. They increase the arrogance of yourself. They increase the uh, um, the pride of yourself, and they also increase negative doubts and pain around that image. If you don't fit that image, I believe so. This is not negative self-talk. This is negative talk from another entity, I believe. And these are signs in order to stay away from those people that are easily influenced by that entity. Okay. So and that this is how the world works. There are forces in this world such as God, love, truth, integrity. Those are forces in this world that are looking to help you grow, um, and remain pure and clean minded and strong. And then there's forces in this world that are looking to destroy you. They're looking to make you prideful, destroy your body, attack others, and have a hatred towards others as well. So this is the signs to stay away from those people. And I'm just going to be going through that now. So the first sign, guys, is tattoos. All right, tattoos are when you think about tattoos, like why would someone get a tattoo? Like why would someone get a tattoo? When I was younger, I used to go to the club, and I would go to the nightclubs, and there was girls with tattoos there. And when you're a young guy, you just want to make conversation. You're just trying to talk to a pretty girl, and you're just trying to think of what to say to get this girl to like you, and you have no idea. So you see the tattoo, and you're like, "Oh, what's your tattoo about?" And some girls that get defensive because it's such a common question. They get annoyed by it, um, strangely. But then some girls that just go into like, oh, this tattoo is about this, and I'm this person, and this is part of my identity. And that's what people who are getting the tattoo is for. It's to actually assign an identity to themselves, to um, either attract people to that identity. Maybe they feel like who they are themselves isn't good enough, so they need to attract people to that identity. Or maybe they have an insecurity around being a weak person, so they try to cover that by looking aggressive with tattoos. It's all about trying to display a certain image to the public. And you know even sometimes you talk to people and they deny it. They say, oh, I got this tattoo for myself as a reminder. It's like, well, why don't you just, like some people are like, I have this tattoo of my mom and dad. It's always a reminder for me. And it's like, why don't you just put a photo on your phone screen? Like, why you need to get a tattoo? It's bullshit. They want to display something to others so that they can attract attention or create an image. So, people who have tattoos, it's a sign of a person that's very prideful, that hasn't overcome their pride, and it's also a sign that their body is being destroyed by the devil. So the devil always looks to destroy the body. Um, it's a it's almost like that's the main objective of the devil. Like God gives you your body, he rents out your body to you, and it's the devil's job in order to destroy that. So tattoos is number one. Number two is, and you can see it too. You can see it with the big. When you ever look into the LGBT community, just be aware about how many tattoos they have. They don't look like healthy body, not healthy body functioning people. So number two is smoking. People that smoke are affected by that entity, that affected by negative talk from the entity, the devil. So cigarettes are another sign that this person is they destroy their own body. They're destroying their own body and they're destroying their own health. So it's hard to trust a person like that who will destroy themselves or will choose gratification um, over health. Because when you think about it, the health of your body is a long term gratification thing. Like who is like eating the right nutritions to a T in order to increase the likeliness that they will live longer? Who is doing that? Not a lot of people. So smoking is a short gratification action in order to get that high feeling now. And you want to stay away from these people because in business. So if you're in business with these people, you have a realization that if it comes to between you and getting a higher pleasure, they're more likely to choose that higher pleasure. Same with relationships. Let's say you're in a relationship with a man or a woman. If he's faced in a situation where he could get a higher pleasure, maybe the man can get a higher sexual gratification. Same with the woman, or both of them can get a higher ego gratification. Um, many cases in women where they can get, um, if they're offered a better partner who gives them a better image, um, then they're more likely to cheat on you or choose that partner. So they can't be really trusted in a relationship. So yeah, it's fascinating in a way that it can actually these all these signs are guiding you in order to avoid pain later in sexual loving relationships and business relationships as well. So third one I would say is, I'm just doing this off the top of my head, obesity. So again, similar to smoking, someone who uses food as a form of gratification um, cannot be trusted in loving relationships or business relationships, because it's not just that, it's not like tattoos where they have a high level of pride. These people are displaying that they have a high level of greed. So someone's greedy with food, greedy with delicious food, greedy with um, greedy with getting dopamine from their food, then they're probably greedy in other areas of their life. Could be greedy with money, could be greedy with uh, love. I guess, like, they could be greedy with love. Maybe they're not satisfied with one partner, they want more. Greedy with sex. And it's just a selfish behavior too. You just know people who are selfish, like people who are greedy, are often selfish and often self-centered as well. So it just goes to show that they're being affected by the devil a lot, and the devil's helping destroy their body with fatty foods. Uh, okay, so a lot of these are the same. A lot of these are just along the same lines, that they're destroying their body, and they cannot be trusted in relationships, business or sexual or loving relationships. I would say next one's drugs, alcohol. Same thing, drugs and alcohol. Someone who has an addiction to that, same thing, same as alcohol. They're destroying their body. You have, I would say, women who have blue hair, blue pink hair, try to look outside of the normal feminine look. You have a lot of feminist women trying to do that now, and you want to try and avoid them, because what the devil tries to do is also destroy the natural gender role that God has given people. So, and a lot of the times, you don't know, these women, they've gone through something traumatic. Maybe they've gone through something like sexual abuse, and they've gotten a pain. They've acquired a pain like that in their past, and they've went down the road to destruction. Some women go down the path to God, and some women go down the path to destruction. So, if you see a girl with tattoos, blue, pink hair, or any type of way to display aggressive masculine behavior in order to repel the male attraction to the feminine, to the feminine beauty, is a bad sign. You got to run away. They've accumulated pain in their life, and they're on the way to destruction of themselves, and they will destroy you as well if you get close to them. So, it's kind of like a frog, those colorful poisonous frogs that you see. The devil marks who he is speaking to. What else? I feel like I'm missing a lot. I should have wrote these down, or at least looked at my old blog. I have written a blog before that I wrote 2 years ago that you can have a look at. Just, hey guys, anything that has to do with gratification, that's if someone's impatient and wants the gratification now, is a bad sign. Even things like if someone is into computer games, has a computer game addiction, just goes to show that they're greedy with their time that God has given them. They're greedy. They want entertainment. It's like food, except food's an obvious sign. With video games, can't be so obvious. So any form of gratification, if someone indulges in any form of gratification, it's a bad sign. Uh, um, and before I used to think this is indicators of low self-esteem. It's not indicators of low self-esteem. It's indicators of someone that is being on the path to destruction by the devil, and is most likely, on the way to the hellfire, which is very sad for them, because that's a reality. And if you really read in religion how awful that is, you got to feel sorry for these people. Oh, lastly, I want to say, like, even again, women. When I wrote this, I was really angry towards women who wear minimal clothing, and I think for the world of believers is starting to see that men today are being attacked by women that wear very little clothing in order to manipulate their attention. So the women today, they're wearing minimal clothing in order to increase their pride and ego gratification, and manipulate men into extracting either money or attention from them. So that's a sign you need to run away. If you see women doing that, she's likely to have high pride, and she's likely to have an addiction to ego gratification. So you want to avoid getting into any business relationship or sexual loving relationship with these women, because they will likely, if they're offered more gratification over staying loyal to you, they're more likely to choose the gratification, and they'll have self-destroying behaviors that they'll pass on to you. A lot of the times, if you're in a relationship with these people, they're impatient. It's just it goes down to the root behavior of patience. If you're patient, and that means you can avoid the short-term pleasure now to wait for the long-term pleasure, and that means you can be patient on your partner. So let's say you're in a loving relationship and your partner has a negative trait. A patient person is more accepting and is more loving and patient with that person, so that they can grow out of it. where if you're with someone that's impatient, in a relationship with someone who's impatient, they're likely to be judgmental or self-critical of your negative trait, and will actually cause you pain and increase your own destruction. So I hope that helped, guys. If you notice anything, any other signs that I miss, please write in the comment. Share it with the community. Will be good. I'm always interested to read. And yeah, I'll see you on the next show.